Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Celeste Silvercord here. Before all my friends start jumping in, just want to say, please give this a like, share, subscribe. Definitely watch it and see if you actually like it before you like and subscribe, because I don't need people popping in and out. That's not my deal. But yeah, readings, all that good stuff. All the links below. All the YouTubers say it. You don't need me to say it to you every damn morning in every video. Don't you guys get sick of that? Isn't it like karma? It's kind of like this wheel that goes round and round and round where people make the same mistakes over and over again. That's what I wanted to talk about this morning. I want to talk about karma and karmics because that seems to be a big topic for you guys lately. Give me a second. I did not get notified. There we go. There it is. Lord Almighty. All right. So, you ever heard that song? Somebody's going to give you a lesson, and losing somebody's going to teach you what you've been doing. And I hope that I'm around to watch them knock you down. That's somebody casting the karmic energy right there. That's eventually whatever lessons you've taught somebody else, they get to learn. That's how karma works. So, I don't know. Good morning. Let me just message this one. But yeah, I figured we'd talk about karma this morning. Do you think magical? Yeah. Then talk about it. What goes around comes around. What happens when we start doling out karma? Because a lot of people don't realize that you have the power to dole it out yourself. You can totally see it. You can totally recognize the patterns. And you can totally just be like, I know exactly what I need to do with you because I watched you already do it to somebody else. Sometimes it's you and sometimes it's somebody that you know. But in general, yeah, that's why they say, those men who pick up women online, like we were talking yesterday, when they pick up those chicks and stuff like that, and they're in a relationship, when they pick somebody up, when they start talking to somebody new, it almost 9 times out of 10, the person they picked up will do it to them. They will get all wrapped up in that person, the love of their lives, and they will embarrass themselves all over the place, talking about how much they love that person, and then a year later, you're like, ooh, what? She was cheating on, she was talking to somebody else. That's how it works. This has got to go. What are you? Oh. 1 second, guys. Baby girl's up. She's asking to download a coloring game. This is what happens when kids have phones. I don't got to change diapers, but they still get up. I don't know why she's awake. She's never awake. She's my Pisces baby. She usually sleeps in really late. I guess that's my karma for getting up early and bothering people. She's up early to bother me today. That's how I think karma works. And now, yeah, there is the law of attraction where what you manifest and what you cast out comes back on you. But for me, karmic is lessons that run in a cycle. And if you're smart enough to and listen long enough enough to talk, they'll tell you exactly what their karmic cycles are. Like, oh, see, somebody sat at my desk and left a spot. Who's bothering me? How you got them is how you'll lose them. Yeah, that is definitely how that kind of works. I told you, your cup is not going to be sitting in somebody else's hand. Good morning. Your divinely guided life. I like that. Maybe y'all be divinely guided in life. But that's actually what I was just talking about when it comes to the karmic cycles. It's, even if it's not like picking up someone, you know, in that sense. You can see after a while how a certain person will treat people, and then usually it's, you'll notice that you're being taken advantage of, and their karmic lesson will be you leaving. That is a major karmic lesson to teach somebody. And now this will probably be a person you'll realize that they'll usually tell you, karmics in karmic relationships, they'll talk about their past all the time. They will tell you about their exes all the time. And after a while, you'll start filling in, because we are the divine energies, divine goddesses, divine gods in here, you know, where we are listen to our intuition. We are critical thinkers. We can fill in the blanks. And there will come a time where you start realizing, I'm noticing how he edits certain stories. I notice how he does the same things over and over and over again in all his relationships, how he'll say it's the same thing. Oh, they always bitched about this. They always bitched about this. And then you start thinking, you're like, yeah, I'm starting to see why they always bitched about it. Starting to see why they always bitched about it. And now for us divine energies, the lesson we teach is, once we go, we're gone. We're not going to play the games like your girlfriends before. We're not going to roll that little circle and take you back a million times. Once we're gone, that's the hurt. And then that's usually in a karmic relationship, when you end it, that's how the twin flame activates. That's how false twins activate each other, I guess. I'm not sure. Yes. We are usually the ones that got away. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of my view on karmic. It's not so much like the threefold law in witchcraft. That more or less is about energy. Whatever you manifest through you and cast out to the universe is what you attract to you, right? So if you cast negative energy, negative things will come back, and it comes back threefold. It's not even so much that it comes back threefold, it just feels threefold to you. It's usually very balanced. As above, so below. Yes, ma'am. As within, so without. All right. You guys ready to hear what the cards say? No, I'm just getting ready to start the cards, honey. We were just talking about karma. But you already know the karma. You know how that works. It's not she's not somebody running around tripping people up because they pissed you off. That's not how that works. If you're pissed off, chances are you're going to trip because you're not paying attention to your feet. That's actually karma. You're casting negative vibrations at somebody else and you're letting it mess you up, and then you trip. They may trip too, but that's because they're shitty people. That's why they pissed you off. That's the Fae. They do have a sense of humor, the Fae. They really, really do. Love to steal trinkets and then give them back in places that you did not leave them. Yes, people do not realize, like, karma gets such a negative, she has such a negative reputation, and that's not what that's about at all. There is such thing as good karma. Sometimes losing the love of your life is the best karma the universe could have ever given you. I mean, think about it. Think about your first love, right? And you guys, we all have social media. If you think about your first love and you look back on their Facebook page and imagine what it would have been like if you spent the last 10 years with that person. Lost your pentagram and then you found it, pinnacle. Pinnacle? It could have been pentagram. You lost it in there. You have any idea how many times I've had this since 2003, and it has fallen off this chain I don't know how many times, and it always returns itself to me. Always. And I'll find it in the most random, weird places. And it's like, if that's not a sign that somebody's looking out for me, I don't know what else is. Had yours since 2007. Mm-hmm. All right. You guys ready for some cards? We got to get a little group going now. See what the universe has to say about all this, and we'll tie it all together, I'm sure. Let's turn you down a little bit. We got Alone in the World, Temple of My Body, and Obsession. All right. Now, I think these are pretty big themes that I've been seeing. I told you guys I watch other readers, but it's more so that I can catch the narrative that you guys are watching online. A lot of people out there, you guys are feeling very lonely, right? And I know that's a scary feeling. We've all been there where you've been alone, and it's like there's nothing worse. It's hard being a female alone in the world. It's a scary, it just is. Men will never understand it. It's a reason I have a giant dog, which I've also been suggesting to people. If you are able to and you are really lonely, you might want to try going out and checking out the shelters and picking you up a pet or something to help with the loneliness. All right. If you're feeling alone in the world right now, and find a way to, find ways to connect with people outside. Nobody's fully alone. Get the Temple of My Body. A lot of times, a lot of stress that we're going through is because we are not taking care of our vessels. And also, stress causes cortisol to be released in your brain. And stress causes cortisol. Cortisol will cause inflammation and pain and make you sick if you stress all the time. That's why a lot of us say you guys tearing off the news and focus on you and do something that you really enjoy, that brings you joy, because that is going to make you sick as well. Obsession, another major theme. I mean, we're talking about karma and karmics and everything else. If you're watching these divine masculine, divine feminine readings all the time, and you're obsessing about a single person constantly, that is not good. If you're obsessing about any problem constantly, well, even with the storms and stuff, if you obsess about them, that's how you manifest them to this. We almost got hit by a storm last year, and there was a huge movement, and we all made crystal grits to steer it away, and at the last second, it steered away. But you can't, like for me, the storm is coming, right? The hurricane's coming, and I don't even know if it's a hurricane. It's still a tropical storm, I think. But anyway, the storm is coming. We're all watching the Weather Channel, and everybody's bugging out and stressing. And, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God, the cone of uncertainty. Which way will it go? That's a dangerous obsession. I mean, and that could be a metaphor for relationships, too. If you're like just getting started or whatever. You're in the cone of uncertainty of where it will go. You can't obsess stuff, guys. You plan for the best. I have a bug out box. I have, my food container, and, you know how to prepare for a storm. You package your stuff up. You prepare for the storm. You do not obsess. That also releases the cortisol that will make you sick. Things are veiled right now. They're veiled right now, and they're veiled for a reason. We are not supposed to be able to see what's coming. Why? Because if we see what's coming, then we will just accept that, and we will not continue to manifest our own realities. A house lands on you. It was a bad day for that woman. The house landed on her, and then her sister stole her shoes. I appreciate that, darling. I hope I changed it for the better. Stop obsessing. Yep. Well, that's what I'm trying to come here and do for you guys. I'm trying to break these toxic narratives that get us playing these same roles over and over again, lifetime after lifetime. I mean, this is it. These are the times to start shifting, man. Start changing it. It's time to start taking control. And the number one way to take control is, especially if you're feeling very lonely right now, it's time to focus on taking care of your vessel and your health, and stop obsessing over things and people you cannot control. The obsession is what blocks you from moving forward with other things in your life. Oh, humility is a big lesson when it comes to karma. When you realize that someone has done to you what you have done to others, or someone is doing to you what you have done to others, oh, I like that saying. Humility will keep your knees from being bent. Yes. If you don't feel the need to be better than everyone around you all the time, it'll really stop people from fighting you all the time. So they talk about peace. I've mentioned that in videos before too. The wise man, they asked him, how do you maintain your inner peace? And he goes, I don't argue with fools. And the guy goes, I don't agree. And he goes, you're right. No sense fighting it. Exactly. No sense worrying about it. No sense worrying about it. Look now, here. Stop worrying about it. Look what I got right here, right next to each other. The Prince of Cups and the Princess of Wands. How perfect is that? The Prince of Cups is all about allowing those loving messages to come in and being open and receptive to them, and continuing to seize your own path. This deck I love the most because she is placing her own star in the sky. She is not reaching for someone else's star. She's not following someone else's path. She is creating her own path and putting her own star in the sky. But in order to do that, you have to walk away from things that no longer serve you. I actually don't know. Indolence? No idea what that word means. I'll be looking it up later. But Eight of Cups, you have to know what you need to walk away from. And I know that is huge, huge this week, because we got the Lovers reversed. This is not everybody. This does not necessarily mean a love relationship. This means there is someone to which you love and have a connection with. This could be family. This could be someone you've worked with a long time. This could be anything like that. I was saying yesterday morning, sorry, I was a little groggy. I had to take my sleep medication the night before. But we have to start recognizing where we have hit the end of the road in certain connections. Temperance. It's how we can find ourselves in the place where we can really center and focus and know ourselves. You know, sometimes it doesn't matter how much you love a person. You've hit the end of the road. If they're causing more hurt than harm in your life, it's time to walk away. We just had Venus retrograde. You know what? I'm actually going to do something fun today. I have this deck. I have yet to use it, but since I got so many of y'all in here, this is the dragon deck, and it's cool because it has all elemental dragons at different stages. So I'm not really sure what messages will come out of this, but let's have some fun. So Venus is passing back at the point where when she stationed and went retrograde. So she stationed and went retrograde, and that was highlighting areas where the last few weeks are where people hurt your heart, and you should have been working through them. I always say retrogrades are an opportunity to work through things. Now, it has been several weeks. We are finally out of post-shadow. She has hit the point at which she went into retrograde, and she's ready to start moving forward. Have you resolved anything over the last few weeks? Has anything changed over the last few weeks? Has anything improved over the last few weeks with this connection? Because you had all this time to work through it. If that person's not changing and nothing's getting better, then it's kind of time to really debate on what you want to do. I always tell you guys, it's cycles. Summer solstice and the winter solstice. That's when these things tend to come up right before. That's just, at least in our lifetime right now, that's where it's all lined up. And I believe, I don't have my chart up. Uranus is going retrograde here soon. But sure, that'll be fine. I think what did the Leo King call it? He calls it the war of the gods are going on right now. And it's really a battle in all of our minds on where it is you really want to go and who you want to go with. And we're having to break the old traditional storylines. You know, we do not live in the world that our parents and our grandparents grew up in. That's just it. We don't live in their world anymore, and we damn sure don't have to live by their rules anymore. You know, this whole thing, staying in a toxic relationship and riding it out till you die, I mean, that's old school rules. Being considered somebody's property. Old school rules. I think that's one of the most dangerous things I think about the twin flame narrative, and what ruins your relationships when you bring up the twin flame stuff and you try to put that tag on somebody. This obsessive need for some people to own another person it scares me, man. You guys like scare me with it sometimes. You're like, but he's my twin and he can't possibly ever be happy with anybody else but me. He has to come back to me. I'm the only person in the world that could ever love him the way he needs. No, honey, no. You don't own your twin. You don't own anybody. That is the big message. It may not have come out over the last here's the problem. Last 2,000 years or so, give or take, women have been treated like property. We have been told that you need to go and you need to grab up a man, and then he's yours, and he's supposed to take care of. And it's a toxic narrative we all need to get rid of. You divorced your mother? Yes, that's the other thing. You know, staying with toxic families. Blood is thicker than water is a piece of a quote. It is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. And it is those you fight and bleed with is stronger than those you are related to. But you never heard it put that way, huh? The blood of the covenant is stronger than the water of the womb. And it's about warriors, and it's about how, when it comes down to it, the group that you ride or die with, your soul tribe, is more important than any family ties you have. And people have misconstrued that saying for a very long time. That's funny. It gave me this card, which is the key card to the dragon deck. It was like, you're going to need this first, lady, before you start just flipping things out. Oh, she's talking. Yes, and we have to break these ties without being mean about it. Like, you can't be mad at them because, they couldn't break the program. These shifts are happening now for us. We're very lucky to be in the times that we are where these shifts are happening. Oh, yeah. I say that all the time. That's what I came to do. I'm a triple fire sign. I came to break the toxic narrative. The toxic love narrative. This whole thing of having to own a person. And we do it, and women do it to guys too. I say we, but I don't understand it. And I've never have, and I've never really fit in because of it. I'm not the kind of person who, if I start worrying about a partner cheating, or I start, not liking their behavior, and I mean, maybe it's because I've got nothing in my first and seventh house, but I got no problems ending it. Like, well, that's it. You still got to love your parents. They did the best they can with what they had available and the knowledge they had available, and society. We have to stop. That's another big thing. We have to stop blaming people in the past for things that they did in the past when society was different in the past. You know what I'm saying? The world changed, and we need to stop blaming people for how they survived in the world back then. Take the lessons. Let's not repeat it. Let's not erase history. That's how you keep repeating it. And that's toxic relationships too. Forgive yourself for not knowing better before you couldn't have known better until it happened. A lot of people do that. I should have known better. Well, it didn't happen yet. So how could you have known better yet? Forgive your past self for the mistakes that they made. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm not just the black sheep. I'm the black sheep of the black sheep. Extra fun. Oh, man. When people are like, people think money are the end all be all. I might not be super rich, but I have seen what super rich does to people. So my family's got money on both my dad and my mother's side. So money is not the end all be all. Let's see what we got with the dragon cards, huh? So what we got here? There's just babies. What do we got? We got a rock dragon egg. Earth energy. 2 of Pentacles. And right after that, Eight of Pentacles, which is a cool because that's coming into the harvest season, and the Eight of Pentacles is also an older earth dragon. So seeds that you have planted in the past are getting ready to hatch. King of Pentacles. He doesn't say what it is. King of Pentacles. So seeds you have planted in the past are getting ready to hatch, and boom, you're getting ready to lay more seeds and take over your kingdom here. Three of Swords, though. What does this say? A sea dragon egg. Trying to see how to put that together. Sea dragon egg would be water energy, right? So it's emotions in the sea. And the Three of Swords. Three of Swords is usually like a heartbreak, separation, grief. But this is an egg, so this is the beginning stages. So now this goes back into what we were talking about, cutting out people that are no longer part of our path. You know, that does hurt. That does plant plants a little seed of hurt, because it'll hurt to look back on that for a while. It is like I said, and the Three of Swords is also the third party situation. If you're dealing with the third party situation, whether it's someone's cheating or someone is allowing someone else, like a lot of times, especially women will do this thing with their best friends, or even guys will have a best friend that's always right there. You gotta be careful of that, guys. Don't let, I got it. Don't let third parties plant the seed of doubt in your relationships and cause you turmoil. And those that do need to go. Like you were saying before, I'm doing a cord cutting from my mother. I bet you because she's been way too wrapped up in your stuff. And that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Don't let those people put the seeds of self-doubt in you anymore. It's time to release that. Definitely. It does. But it's like working out. It's like working out. Working out makes you sore at first. But pain is part of the process. That Papa Roach song, the scars remind us that the past was real. But now you can choose to let your scars dictate your life from now on, or, right here, this scar right here. When I was 7 years old, my favorite dog tore my face apart. He was a pit bull, and when I was born, he was about 8 months old, and he slept under my crib, and he protected me, and he was my buddy, and he was with me all the time. And when I was 7, I don't know what happened. I don't know if I startled him, or I don't really remember. And he bit my face. He tore his tooth through here, and he ripped open my nostril, and he ripped open my lip. And now at that point, which is really funny actually too, I'll tell you guys this little snippet. My great-grandmother, who would have been 100 years old yesterday or the day before, also got bit by a dog when she was 7. And she was terrified of dogs her whole life. And she was in a very toxic marriage, and her husband used to tell her all the time, I'm going to come back as a dog and terrify you. Those are the toxic connections you guys got to get out of. But this dog bit me in this life now, and I could choose to be terrified of that, or I can choose to accept that not all dogs are like that. And I still have my hiccup. And I do believe Hiccup is an incarnation of Jake. You know, he just had to go through dogs. The dog life, when a soul decides to be your familiar, in order to do a lifetime with you, it has to go through several bodies. It has to be your dog several times, or your cat several times, or whatever your familiars are. So let's see what magic we got for today, because we're already over 35 minutes. We've got the self-confidence sigil here. Strong self-belief and sense of worth. Always say this: know your worth. Know your worth. And your worth does not depend on looks or anything else like that. Your worth is what is inside of you, what your heart knows to be true, and speaking your truth. Your favorite animal is a dragon? Healing. True healing of the mind, body, and soul. True healing of the mind, body, and soul will also help you bring this confidence. Do things for you that make you feel confident, and do things, set yourself some healthy goals, and then when you achieve them, you will feel so much better about yourself, and you will have some basis to stand on to, yes, this is how I have evolved, and you will have this foundation built. And then once you are done doing the healing work and building up your self-confidence and loving you for who you are, guess what's next? Attract a lover, a soulmate, or a life partner. Some of you guys are so wrapped up in attracting a twin flame that will bring nothing but chaos and turmoil in your life, you forget. You came here to love, man. Soulmates are out there for you. And soulmates are so much more easier to deal with than twin flames are, for sure. And soulmates are people that you've had lifetimes of love before. Whenever this didn't work out with the twin flames before, what do you think came in? A soulmate. And you lived happily ever after with that soulmate in that life. And you can do it again in this life. You do not have to be miserable and think that you belong to some jerk that pays you no attention. All right? I am here to serve those that the gods and the goddesses have created. That's beautiful. Yes. That's how I feel. I came here to spark people up. Like I said, I'm a triple fire sign. I came to burn it all down. I came down to burn down the old paradigms and help break people free of these toxic karmic cycles. I mean, I started out doing, my specialty is actually past life readings. So I've spent a lot of time in the Akashic Records just diving through these endless story. And you would be amazed how many of you guys have done the same storyline with each other. Like when people say we all are one, you have no idea how many times, I mean, even around the world, people playing the same storyline over and over again. People are playing the same storyline as you right now, and you probably don't even notice how many. Be careful, Arby. Or Arbai, I'm not sure how you pronounce your name. Remember who the last one who stole fire? What happened to Prometheus? You might want to go check down in my videos and look up the story of Chiron. Prometheus is in that story as well. He stole fire from the gods and brought it to Earth, and then ended up strapped to the side of a mountain getting his liver eaten every day by a giant eagle. Fun stuff. He did get freed in the end, though. Got freed by Chiron, the wounded warrior. I want everybody to be careful, man. I don't like seeing people hurt. Pain's not my frequency, man. I'm here to love. I'm here to love all my sparkly little crystals and make sure that they shine bright. All right, guys, that is my time for today. Blessed be all those who walk these paths with me. I love y'all. I'll catch you in the morning.